And good morning and welcome to another edition of the Saturday Sports Blast. My name is Ralph Williams. I am the host of the Saturday Sports Blast. And yeah, what do you want to talk about? And let us talk to you. I am the revolutionary. I am the visionary. I am Ralph Williams, and I want you to acknowledge me. All right. This morning we have a very special guest with us. I'll introduce him in a second. This morning, it's going to be myself and Brian Pettit. Leo probably will join us in a few moments. And Pensman has other obligations today and will not be joining us. But we are broadcasting live on Pensman's network, and we're also broadcasting live on Sports Break Media, as well as Facebook, YouTube. We're also on Twitch, Twitter X, and the Kick Network as well. All right, and this morning we have some comments getting started here already. Let's see here. Someone said, Brian, what's up? There you go there, Brian. Says, what's up? So, all right. And then we got, okay, hello to those tuning in. And please don't forget to like and subscribe, as I've indicated here, to our YouTube and Facebook pages and channels. Brian, welcome to the program. It's great to have you here. Tell everybody how they can get a hold of you and what's going on this morning. How are you?
Well, it's been a good morning. I got a lot of things to do after the show. So, yeah, you can find me on multiple platforms under Sports Break Media. Multiple also podcast is out there. So, all you got to do is type in Sports Break Media now. You can find me on X at 27 Sports Break. That's the only difference, but everything else is, you just find me on multiple platforms now. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's see what else we got here this morning. All right. Let's see here.
Bryce says, no, I'm the 16-time world heavyweight champion, Bryce Dickert.
There you go.
He's trying to take your belt, Ralph.
Yeah, I know. You can try. That's fine. You can try. But anyway, that'll never happen, though, but that's fine. All right, let's get started. We have our guest today by phone. His name is Mike Sisak. He works with Amped Up Sports, and he's here today to talk with us about the World Cup, and possibly maybe we'll get into some baseball and some other stuff with Mike here. We have him until 10:30. There it is on the phone is Mike Sisak. Mike, welcome to the program.
Hey, how y'all doing? Good to talk to you again, Ralph.
All right, thank you, Mike. Mike, tell us a little bit about what's going on with the World Cup. I know it's in the United States. It's all across the country in different cities. And I know the American team just beat Australia. What's going on with the World Cup right now?
Well, we are into the second full round of group stage games. Every team has played once, and then the three groups featuring the host nations, Mexico, the U.S., and Canada, have played twice. Because they changed tiebreakers, FIFA changed tiebreakers by nature of the U.S. men's national team's win over Australia yesterday, the fact that they have already beaten Australia and Paraguay, and because Turkey lost to Paraguay, the U.S. has already qualified for the round of 32 and won the group with one game to spare. So that is very good. To be honest, the U.S. men have looked like one of the better teams in this World Cup. I was a little bit unsure of what to expect from them coming in. They hadn't had to qualify in the international tournaments that they had played in the last 2 years under Mauricio Pochettino. Hadn't always gone well. But this team has been a revelation to this point, and they've really looked strong. So it's been a great tournament thus far, lots of fun. And everybody seems to be enjoying it.
All right, Leo Haggerty has joined us. Hi, Leo. How are you? Welcome. He's from Amped Up Sports as well. We have Mike Sisak on with us today, Leo, this morning.
Yeah, I heard that. And you know what? Let me ask Mike a question while we're on the subject. Mike, this may not be the most athletic U.S. team, but dear God, I think it's the most speed I've ever seen of a United States soccer team. What do you think?
I think as a collection of talent, top to bottom, right to left, all that stuff, this is probably the most athletic, the best team that we've ever put together as a collection of the whole. Mauricio Pochettino emphasizes speed, pressing, and possession. So yeah, he's going to put a bunch of speed merchants out there, and they can get to from back front, goal to goal and side to side very quickly. I've been really impressed by how the speed at which and the aggressiveness with which they have tackled, and just how good they have been about switching play. I thought that we were going to struggle to break down teams, and something that we have seen is they've been attacking so quickly, so aggressively, pressing, forcing turnovers, getting after it, that they really haven't had to break a lot of people down. I think our second leading goal scorer is own goal. So, in both of the last two games, their first goal has come from a defensive mistake that they forced with their pressing.
And you know what,
All
Mike?
right.
Brazil took over Philadelphia, didn't they?
Brazil took over Philadelphia. I love how the Brazilians were aware of the curse of the Rocky statue and put an Argentina jersey on it.
I like that. There you go. The city of brotherly love.
Nobody has taken over quite like the Tartan Army up in Boston. The love affair between the Tartan Army, the Scots in Boston, has been probably one of the most epic things that I have seen thus far in the tournament. They're just doing a great job. But everywhere where you have a team centered for a while, where you have their fans and things like that, it's just been really good to see. Algeria out in Lawrence, Kansas, and the Jayhawk fans walking around saying rock chalk Algeria. It's just been a really great relationship between the cities and the various fan groups, both foreign and domestic.
Oh, that's great, man. It's good to hear that the cities have welcomed the World Cup. And of course, why wouldn't they? They're getting a lot of tourism. They're going to have a lot of the economy's going to be great there while the World Cup is there as well. And it's great to have them here for our, in our country on our 250th anniversary as well. So that's good news for the World Cup being here. So
I got a question, Ralph. I got a question for Mike.
Go ahead.
Mike, I got a question for you. As we've seen that the NBA and stuff like that, with the rest period that the Knicks did, do we see a similar thing for the USA? Or when they rested their number one player that didn't play yesterday? Can we actually see?
Pulisic has been dealing with a calf injury. I do think that they held him out just out of an abundance of caution. This is a team that in Australia that we should be able to beat with or without Christian Pulisic. They prove it. Now, whether or not he plays and who Pochettino plays next week against Turkey, that's going to be him. It could go a lot of ways. You could say, all right, we got a 23-man roster. We've relied heavily on this core group of about 18 players, 15 players. We're going to get some other guys in. Let's get Matt Turner a start and go just in case and get some game time to some players that we haven't necessarily used because we may need them later on in the tournament. Poch could say because there is time. There's going to be almost another 5 days, I believe, 5 or 6 days in between when we would play our final group stage game and our round of 32 game. He could say, all right, let's keep momentum up. I think that holding Christian Pulisic out was just done out of abundance of caution. We can win this game without him. He's dealing with calf injury. We know that we will need him later on in the tournament when we get into the knockout stages. But there's also the thing, I think sometimes the perception of Christian Pulisic is better than the actual Christian Pulisic. Like, he's not a guy who, I know that when he was younger, okay, he had all the expectations in the world and he's had success on the club level and he's been an instrumental player in the U.S. men's national team setup. But that doesn't mean that a guy like Tim Weah or Brendan Aronson can't give you the same level of play and deputize perfectly fine for Pulisic. I don't think that we need to necessarily hang the whole hopes of the U.S. men's national team on Pulisic's back. We got a lot of other good players who can do the same job that he does for us.
Mike, I got to ask you one other question. Who's the surprise
Mhm.
so far? Ghana?
I think if the U.S. isn't the surprise of the tournament, uh, I think one would be just how objectively bad Turkey has been. This was a team that a lot of people, including myself, said will give the U.S. a run for their money and may even win the group. Leo and Ralph and Brian, they've had 60 shots on goal in 2 games and yet to get one in. No team has underperformed their expected goals to the tune uh, that Turkey has. So just how poor they have been. I've been a little bit surprised at some of these red cards and cards that we're seeing.
Wow.
We saw the first ever red card for covering your mouth while talking to an opponent.
That's a weird one there, isn't it? I mean,
It's a new rule that they put in to keep guys from saying very insulting things to opponents that they can't then figure out what they said by covering their mouth. It goes back to a game in Portugal during the club season. But Miguel Almiron covered his mouth yesterday for Paraguay and said something to the Turks. And after video review was shown a red card. So that is the first. We've also had a card given for mistaken identity.
Wow.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
That was one. So we've had, those are 2 cards that I've never seen given before. So that's been a surprise. I've been a little bit surprised at just Portugal, how poor they were against DRC. That was very much a surprise, and just how old and immobile Cristiano Ronaldo looked, especially when you look at what that group that he's considered a part of, the big scoring stars, Harry Kane and Erling Haaland, and then Messi turning back the years with his hat trick, and then he goes out the following day and just lays a dud. How well I guess I could say all of the sub-Saharan African teams, Cabo Verde, Ghana, Democratic Republic of Congo, and even though Senegal did lose to France, it's a 0-0 game. That was a tie game going into halftime. They played really, really, really well. They just eventually lost to a far superior attacking team that not a lot of people are going to be able to withstand. So the sub-Saharan African teams, I think, have really showed up this tournament. So, yeah, there's a number of things that have kept this tournament very interesting, Leo.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have a question for you, Mike, real quick here. Which team do you believe, I always say this, it's better to be lucky than good. Is there any team involved in the World Cup right now that's better to be lucky than good?
Well, I mean, again, I think that some luck has gone our way in the way that things have bounced for the U.S. men's national team.
Okay.
So how good, and once you've established that sort of run and get that momentum, we're
Right.
looking really, really good. I think, given some things in the way that they line up, we could see some matchups in some teams like Norway that might be able to make some deep runs, even though that they're not the best team, but because of teams like Belgium tying and Portugal not looking good, and these teams that made big teams favorites, that Spain now finding themselves in a position where after that draw with Cabo Verde, that they have to compete for the group and they may not win. It could create some very interesting matchups later on down the road in the round of in the knockout rounds. So you could have some teams that, like Norway, like the U.S. men, like Mexico, who are able to avoid some of the trickier matchups that we might have anticipated them having early in the knockout stages.
All right. We're here with the Saturday Sports Blast every single Saturday morning, 10 a.m. live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and the Kick Network. We're live here. On the phone with us today is Mike Sisak from Amped Up Sports. Leo just joined us. He's also from Amped Up Sports. And Brian Pettit from the Sports Break Media. And myself from RW Media Productions. Those of you who are new to the show today. And we're here every morning. Don't forget this afternoon, 2 to 3 p.m., the Sports Corner radio show on AM 1250, The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial. It's with myself, Ralph Williams, the revolutionary, the visionary, and also with Smoking Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree. And we're going to talk, we have a bunch of other topics to talk about today. And it's great to have Mike on board here to give us some insight on the World Cup.
You know what, Ralph? I need to ask Mike one more question.
Sure, go ahead, Leo.
Who's that gosh darn Norse god that's playing for Norway? Boy, has he burst onto the scene.
Old Viking. We call him
unbelievable.
Erling Haaland is probably, he's about 6'5". He is Old Viking. I mean, probably right now he's in the conversation for best striker in the world. He's probably the best striker in the world. The only reason I say that over Kylian Mbappe is Kylian Mbappe prefers to play on the wing. He plays for Manchester City. He got his start in Norway, then transferred to Borussia Dortmund. From there to the City. He's in his early 20s. And this is a kid that's been there or thereabouts since he was in his late teens. Those of us who watch a lot of soccer, club soccer and international soccer, are intimately familiar with the danger that he brings. Most guys who are that big are not particularly fast. I think the thing that is the most troubling about Haaland is it's not only that he's as big as he is really, really, really quick. And so he's going to make Norway a very, very awkward matchup for anybody who has to play them. Their defense is a little bit suspect, but as I was saying to somebody, a good friend of mine yesterday, I do not want to play Norway in the knockout rounds, and that's a permutation, because I just don't think that we have anybody who matches up with them. And he said, well, we'll just have to win we'll have to get into a shootout, whoever scores the most. I said, I don't want to get into a scoring race with a team that has Erling Haaland running out the back line, because that shit's scary. So, I mean, yes, Leo, it's easy to pick him out. And he is as good as you think he is.
All right. Thank you, Mike, on that. And we're going to get into some other topics here. Mike will be here with us till the bottom of the hour here at 10:30. Mike, you said you want to talk about the New York Mets a little bit. Go ahead.
I want to talk about the Mets. No.
Yeah, I know.
What, the Mets are going to Mets?
Yeah, I got you. All right. Yeah, because when we talked on the phone, you said you want to talk about the Mets.
I think that was a misunderstanding. I must have said something wrong, but
no, that's all right. Don't worry about it.
No, I wouldn't. The Mets are going to Mets. That's all I got to say. The Mets somehow have managed to be worse than the Washington Nationals. Who, actually, if you look at it, it's scary, gentlemen. The Washington Nationals have one of the best offenses in baseball. They didn't see that one coming. But,
no, not at all.
They can't pick a lick.
That's the problem. All right, real quick here, Mike. I know you cover the Baltimore Ravens, the Washington Commanders, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. What are your thoughts on, and we'll start with the Ravens right now, going into training camp? What are your thoughts on the Ravens with their new coach? Go ahead.
When is this contract extension with Lamar Jackson going to actually get done? We heard that it needed to get done before the draft. We heard that it needed to get done before the season, that they needed it for free agency. It just, redid his contract. So they converted bonus money and did what they did, restructured his deal, which means that he's going to have a $70-odd million cap hit next year, or $90 million, I think it is.
Whoa.
It's untenable. So that deal has to get done. And I know that Lamar's a different kind of person, and he represents himself. And, sometimes he moves with the speed that he moves with, but he's looking around at these guys, and he just saw the ruling about the NFL and what they did after Deshaun Watson to discourage owners from signing fully guaranteed contracts. We know Lamar wants a fully guaranteed contract. So how much longer is it going to linger? He's said and done all the right things. He's in training camp.
Yeah.
He's in training camp. They asked him to show up. Jesse Minter said he needed to be there. Guess what? Lamar showed up. You can't ask him to do any more than he is doing. But at some point in time, I think that they need to get this done before the season, because I don't think that they will get it done during the season. I don't think you will be able to nail him down to actually have these negotiations. So if we can get this done before training camp, I think that's critical for the Ravens.
All right. Any questions for Mike Sisak here, guys? Brian, Leo, about the Ravens?
Yeah, you know what, Mike? I'm going to bring this up. I think we need to educate fans what the difference is between mandatory and voluntary. And again, all these fans get so bent out of shape and excited because, he didn't show up for the OTAs. If it's voluntary, it's voluntary. And you know what? Right about now, you put in a good 10 months of physical abuse on your body. You need time to recover. And OTAs, I've never seen a championship won or lost during an OTA. So, in fact, the Bucks, they got penalized for being too physical during their OTAs. So, again, I'm thinking the league needs to just sit down with the NFLPA and say, okay, we're just going to get rid of these voluntary ones. Instead of having 1 week of mandatory minicamp, we're going to have 2 weeks, and that's it. What do you think, Mike?
I think that this is definitely something that is going to be looked at in the collective bargaining agreement. We know that the NFL wants to do two things, Leo, and I'll get to what you're saying in a second. We know that they want to go to an 18-game season, and they want to have every team play an international game. I think in order to do that, they're going to have to give on something, and one of the things is going to be the amount and number of training assemblies that teams can have. Now, I agree with you. I've never seen I don't know whether the extent to which you can win a Vince Lombardi trophy at a voluntary OTA in May or June or April. I do know that the Commanders, in particular, had their training camps. They were kind of light. They're voluntary. Not everybody attended them, and they clearly suffered last year. So they're stepping it up this year. We saw with the Ravens. Jesse Minter said, "Yeah, it's voluntary, but I need this time." And the same with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah. You got Mike McCarthy.
We got a new coaching staff. I need this time to get these new plays and these new ideas in.
Right. Yeah.
So there is a value to them, but I got to believe that this is going to be one of the things, Leo, that might get altered in the new collective bargaining agreement. The NFL is going to have to give something, and this is something that they could afford to give.
All right, real quick, Mike, and then we'll let you go because I know you have other obligations. Washington Commanders, what can we expect out of them this year?
Vibes coming out of Ashburn are positive. They know that they laid an egg last year. They know that this team should have been a lot better than it was. They have really, I think, upgraded the defense, the speed on defense that they're going to have. This is going to be a much different defense than it has been the last couple of years under Dan Campbell. Sonny Styles looks every bit as good as advertised. He's going to wreak havoc on the interior. They've upgraded at a lot of positions. Wide receiver is still a major concern. And there's the ongoing won't they love affair saga with Brandon Ayuk, waiting for him to get cut. Do they want him? It seems that Adam Peters, the GM, may want him because he knows him from their time in San Francisco. I don't know how much Dan Campbell wants him. It's kind of weird though when you have Dan. As much as he was around those guys, Adam Peters with the Shanahans and everybody, and John Lynch and them out in San Francisco, I can't believe that he doesn't see the same things in Brandon Ayuk that they do. Like groupthink.
Right.
It's
Exactly,
a pod. It's a hive mentality out there. Like, I got to believe that they see the same things. And that would make me, like, I'm not even part of that. I'm wary of signing him. All this stuff is taking me, it's really giving me, like, Antonio Brown vibes. I'm getting heebie-jeebies off of this.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Well, there's a lot of those, Mike. You don't even have to even say Antonio Brown. Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of those guys out there.
I'm getting Major League Antonio Brown vibes. I'm just waiting for him to, like, he's doing some of the same stuff. So I don't know if I would go in that general direction, but hey, I'm a dude talking to you two guys on the phone on a Saturday, not making millions of dollars a year as a talent evaluator in the NFL.
Yeah, I wish I was. There you go. All right, Mike, thank you for being part of the program.
Thank you, Mike.
Any final questions for Mike before I let him go? Brian, Leo, go ahead.
Mike, 60 seconds. Brendan Sorsby, do you draft him in the supplemental draft or not?
That's a good one.
Me? No, I'm not taking a guy who has admitted to having a gambling addiction and betting on his own team. I don't care how talented you are as a player. You've touched the third round, right? I don't see how we can talk about Shoeless Joe Jackson and Pete Rose and Terry McMillan and guys
and a few other people
and all those guys who got banned for gambling, and then turn around and say, yeah, but this kid's different. So, no, you touched the proverbial third rail. I don't take him. Let him do his thing. If he makes it in the UFL or somebody, I would not personally take him. I do not think he is worth the draft pick. That said, here's a guy that a lot of teams are going to look at and say, we don't have the most valuable thing in the NFL is a talent as a quarterback on a rookie deal. Here's one that seems that we believed had potentially second round talent. Had he gone in the draft this year, maybe we take a flyer on him. I think, Leo, I'll throw the question back at you. If he comes out and he doesn't try and get a bigger NIL deal with Texas Tech, we never know any of this.
Yeah, exactly. He might be there for a few years because they've been doing that, but the NCAA has managed to crack down on that a little bit. So we'll see what they do with this thing.
Well, theoretically, right now, according to Lubbock County, Texas, the NCAA can't, because it would do irreparable harm for them to enforce on the mental health of one Brandon Sorsby to enforce their rule that says that you can't gamble. So that's what they in essence said. Now, it is a state court injunction. It's not federal. And there are motivations. And we'll see. I still think, even though he's not going to be at Texas Tech, the NCAA has to, and I know I'm going a little bit over time, but they have to pursue this.
Right.
If they can't enforce their own prohibition on gambling, then what can they do?
Exactly.
Like, what is the purpose? What are they? What are they there for?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Mike. Thanks for being part of the program. We'll have you come back on again.
All right.
As always, thank you.
Okay. I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you, Mike.
That was Mike Sisak from Amped Up Sports, one of Leo's colleagues, and it was
hey,
great.
Ralph, I want to jump on this with both feet right now.
Oh, so do I, man. I'm on it with Brandon Sorsby because
I am too.
The Steelers might be interested in him.
Well,
and
here's the biggest difference.
Go ahead.
He bet on his team to win. and he never played in the game.
In the game,
and he bet on his team to win. I'll tell you what. There's a real big problem coming down the road for the NCAA and the NFL. Here's why. It's not going to take Johnny Cochran to get a client and say to the court, hey, he bet on his team to win. How is this affecting the outcome? You want him to play to win. And here's the second part. Some judge is going to sit down and say, hey, the NCAA and the NFL, you're embracing gambling. Every commercial at a break is DraftKings, whatever. It's about gambling. You can't get upset when one of your guys gambles. Is he gambling? And again, if he bet on his team to lose, he should never suit up again, ever.
Oh,
but
yeah.
betting on your team to win, now you're in a different gray area. And believe me, the NCAA, and here's what bothers me about the NCAA, nobody up there thinks out of the box and ahead. When they lost the O'Bannon case, nobody came in and said, hey, guys, this is coming down the road. I can't believe nobody up in Indianapolis sat down in the meeting and said, hey, we need to either divorce ourselves from all this gambling or figure out what's going to happen when a judge and a lawyer connects these dots and says, hey, you're encouraging gambling. It's not like he's betting to lose, he's betting to win. He's not doing anything illegal. It's your rule, but you're not enforcing it within yourself. It's definitely a Pandora's box, and they better shut that lid real quick.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, go ahead,
Leo, I got a question on this one too. Yesterday I actually heard that you remember, I forgot who they talked about yesterday, but you remember that guy that actually did a lot of betting years ago and how he
Yeah,
was
Art
in the NFL?
Schleister.
Yeah, Art
They were
Schleicher.
talking about that. They like, well, the NFL's not going to really do anything to Brandon Sorensen about this
Sorsby,
because Sorsby, but they said that they might not do nothing to him if
No.
if he goes through it. So
No.
but my only concern is, like everybody else said, I don't think I would want him on the team because what about if you got a quarterback already? Everybody's already set with their quarterbacks. I mean, what is he going to actually do? Unless you
Yeah,
really
exactly.
need a quarterback. I mean, I heard him that he might go into UFL or something. But still,
Okay.
it's always a factor that as a coach or whatever, or a manager of any team, is he betting still? Is he going on the side of betting?
Yeah,
You
that's going to be a
Yeah.
big thing, Brian. Yeah, I agree with you on that. But here's the thing I have here. Let's say, for instance, he plays, which he has a chance enough. I got a better chance of getting struck by lightning than him ever really playing full time in the NFL at this point. All right. Anyway, when he plays, let's say he throws 5 interceptions in that game.
Go ahead, Ralph.
Everybody's going to be going right after the team. Why did you draft this kid? Is he doing this to win or lose? Let's say he fumbles a football. Let's say he throws it out of bounds or whatever he does. Everybody's going to scrutinize that whole thing, and the team's going to get scrutinized. Does anybody want to play with this kid like that? That's a question that I have for everybody today here on the panel. Go ahead.
As soon as he makes that big mistake,
Yes.
the first thing that's going to come up is he throwing the game?
Yes.
Hey, Ralph, I can't. And, I talked to Troy Odegaard, who you've had on this show.
Yeah.
And he said, look, I don't want the guy who's touching the ball every play to have any problem with gambling. Yes, it's an addiction. Yes, but I don't want that addiction under center for me.
Well, all right, Brian, your final thoughts on this, and then we're going to move on to the NBA and the New York Knicks. Go ahead.
My thing is, it's a liability. We talk about liability all the time, and that's just one of my little key things. I don't think I want him on the team because it makes you look bad, even if you don't do something, or if he does, like Leo said, and you did too, Ralph. If he throws an interception, the teams are going to go, okay, is he betting? Is he doing this?
Yes.
Or hey, I'm going to throw it over the receiver here and get it in. And we also not have talked about this. How about if he's doing this on the side, and then you got the fantasy league too?
Yes, exactly. I forgot about fantasy, Brian. Thank you.
Yeah, you can actually do that too.
Right.
Is he actually betting on? Okay, because I thought about this one too. If I'm just going to throw like one of the big receivers now, what about if he catches it and he runs for this and he goes, okay, well, I'm going to throw it to him so he doesn't get his prop bets, if he needs like one more yard, but I'm not going to throw it to him. I'm going to throw it over here to this other guy,
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, so all you got to do is watch the longest yard, and you'll understand exactly about throwing a game. Art Schlichter actually, believe it or not, played in arena football for a little while. Some arena football team was able to pick him up years ago. And, Art Schlichter always is across my mind on that, gambling and all that in football. He was one of the biggest culprits of that problem. And now Sorsby is, and we'll see where this goes. My co-host on Sports Corner, Smoking Jim Frazier, says he thinks the Steelers might take him. But here's the question I have before we move on here. Can this be whoever takes him is going to have to try to be another Dick Vermeil like when he took Lawrence Phillips? All right, when Dick Vermeil was with the Rams. Could somebody be like a Dick Vermeil and say, okay, I'll take him. I think I can mold him into shape. I think I can get him away from gambling. Real quick here, Brian, go ahead. You start.
Well, here's my thing about this. You got the supplemental draft. We don't know really. We haven't really dived into what it is. Now, I'm just going to take this in perspective and everything like that. Let's say you've won. Let's say one of the rules is you had to win 6 games. Well, if you look at the teams that have won 6 games last year, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, that's a lot of
so I'm just going to throw out a name here. Let's say the Chiefs. Let's say the Chiefs get the number 1 bye or the number 1 pick for the supplemental draft. Okay. Let's say they get them. Well, you got Mahomes. Now you got him. Well, Mahomes is getting a little older. Maybe Mahomes will help him do that. I'm just saying he can actually go to a good team down the road, but he might not get to play, because you're going to have to mold him.
Yeah. You got Andy Reid there, and now you got Eric Bieniemy back as the offensive coordinator. So that right there, those two guys, their two mindsets and brains might be able to work with this.
But in the supplemental draft, you don't know where you're going to pick.
Right.
I heard I think it's a 6th round or something like you had to win 16. I don't know the whole entire rules because we don't know it. But let's say they go 4 or 3 wins you had to do. You just don't know what he's going to go because you got the supplemental draft. It's not like, the highest bidder wins,
Yeah.
So you don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
It's
Leo, your final thoughts, and we're going to wrap this topic up, move on to the NBA and some other stuff. Go ahead.
You know what? I'm going to throw out Randy Moss.
Okay.
I sat there on draft day in Tampa, and I said, Randy Moss is going to go to a team with an African-American coach. And people started throwing things at me at the bar. Oh, you racist. I said, hey, look, when Randy Moss comes up, they're going to look at the owner, and he's either going to go like this or he's going to go like this. And I can tell you for a fact the Buccaneers didn't even have Randy Moss on their draft board. So, yeah, he went to the Minnesota Vikings. Why? Dennis Green was the head coach.
Dennis Green was the head coach, right?
They were looking for Father Flanagan. They were looking for somebody to come in and mentor this guy. And guess who was there, guys? Chris Carter.
Yeah,
what
Chris Carter was there.
Mentor.
Right.
I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles, Buddy Ryan traded him and didn't say why. He just said all he does is catch touchdown passes. Well, he had an addiction, and a bad addiction. And they said, let's give him another chance, see if he can pull himself out without having to expose this. Chris Carter did. He got Randy Moss and put him on the straight and narrow. I tell you what, this is going to be a real problem because, again, there is so much baggage coming in. The kid makes a mistake.
Yes.
All they're going to do is they're going to throw the nails in and crucify it, put him up on the cross.
Oh, I know.
Here you go again. And here's the other side of it. The NFL can't just say, well, we're going to ban him because he's got what is recognized as a disease. That's what's affecting this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like he's going out and doing it. He has an addiction.
Yeah.
The NFL has to come out and say, we're going to take care of addictions.
Yeah,
I don't know if this one is one they can take care of.
It's well known. And when you have an addiction or anything that you're doing nowadays, guys, and I think you'll agree with me on this, Leo and Brian, the concept of the fact of social media. if this was back in the days, back like way back when, you could keep this a secret and not have to worry about it. Nowadays, with social media, you can't keep nothing a secret. And this, it's going to be my advice to Brandon Sorsby is to go, like you guys said, what Brian said, UFL, CFL, arena football, or something else, or stay in college or become a coach or something, because I don't know what his NFL career is going to be, and I don't know what coach is going to want to take him on. Does Andy Reid want this headache and Eric Bieniemy? They're trying to get the Chiefs back up and moving again. So, I mean, that's the question of the day. Does Mike McCarthy want to put up with him? I don't know. I mean, we can only find out. All right.
You know what, Ralph? Real quick. I'm going to bet that there's going to be one team that takes a chance on him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely, Leo. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he's a good talent when he's not gambling. I mean, that's the bottom line. And smoking Jim Frazier, and I'll use him again because he's been a scout for over 40 years. He said the Steelers should take him. He's a good talent if he stays away from gambling. But the question is, again, do Steeler fans, do we want to sit here and talk every week about how he threw 2 interceptions? I'm going to tell you a little story. Remember the 1995 Super Bowl or whatever it was with the Cowboys and the Steelers, and Neil O'Donnell threw those interceptions? Everybody said Neil O'Donnell threw the game. He had money on it or something. That's the type of stuff I don't think the Steeler fan base or anybody really wants to put up with, that I think. But somebody will take them because somebody's desperate. Somebody, Leo, will take them regardless. It could be one of the new coaches, which I highly doubt. And next week we're gonna do a show, a little bit of the show next week. Which new coach has the best chance of succeeding this year in the NFL? All right. So, because training camps are coming up at the end of July, and, the NFL season gets started, baseball gets put on the shelf a little bit because, a lot of cities, including Pittsburgh, once the training camp starts for the Steelers and some of these other teams, baseball becomes an afterthought. So, but anyway, speaking of we're going to get into basketball here. NBA, New York Knicks wins the title last weekend. I unfortunately had to watch it from the ER of a hospital, because my wife has a hernia and I had to take her to the ER. I watched it in the ER. It was one of the better games that I've ever watched in the NBA in a long time, and I haven't followed the NBA since Michael Jordan. And I got into it real heavy, and I tell you what, it was just one great final game. It was sad to see the Spurs lose because I thought, them being the younger team, they might pull it off. But then the Knicks, with their experience and their coach, ended up winning this game. Brian, start with you. New York Knicks winning the NBA.
Well, I'm going to say this, and I know that I kind of had the welcome in Pinsman. He said, "Go Knicks." No, I actually thought the Spurs were actually going to win on Sunday, last week, just a game. But I kind of always reminded everybody, watch out for the fourth quarter. And what happened? The last 2 games that the Knicks and the Spurs played, they've given up points in the fourth quarter. And that was the Spurs deficit in the fourth quarter. They gave up a 29 and then another 16 in the finals right there, game 5.
Yeah, that was terrible.
And that was terrible. I mean, you can't, and I said, you only can give a 5% of the Spurs to do anything, and they couldn't do anything. They missed hits. Wembley missed a lot of hits, in the fourth quarter, and it looked like they were tired. The Spurs looked like they were just absolutely tired of like all the beatdown and everything. And the rest were actually calling everything they could, but the comeback was a comeback, and it was emotional for them because it was the Knicks were actually playing really good in the fourth quarter, and the Spurs couldn't do anything in the fourth.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Brian. And I agree with you. There's been, a few meltdowns throughout this championship series from the Spurs, and that's the inexperience. I mean, and bad and coaches unable to make adjustments in the second half. I don't care what game you're in. If you're in football and you're having a bad first half or even a good one, you've got to make the proper adjustments. The Spurs didn't realize that the Knicks had all this experience and it could come back from that big deficit, and did because of some screw-ups. So, but go ahead, Leo. Your thoughts on this game? Game and
You know what? If you didn't have a dog in the fight, that was the best NBA advertisement for watching it. Now, the NBA needs to do something about what's going on off the ball. I mean, I kept telling people, stop watching the two guys on the ball. Watch the other 8. I thought it was the WWE. I was looking for somebody to drop a heavy elbow.
Heavy elbow, yeah.
It was almost assault on what they were doing to Wemby.
Right.
And, I mean, they were just grabbing. And keep in mind, the Knicks won, but 2 of those games came down to the last shot. And again, the biggest difference was the Knicks had the closer, Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
The Spurs aren't that far away. They may have that guy, but they are so young. No one expected him to get that far. But you know what? Throw a Steph Curry on that team next year and look out, because they just don't have that guy who they can give the ball to at the end of the game and say, okay, close it out. They don't have that guy yet. There may be somebody in there. But when you look at what went down, so many things had to go right for the Knicks to win game 2 and game 4. And just the fact that happened was amazing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, even this one, Leo and Ralph, how about the tip in the last seconds? You know, what could have happened if they didn't get that? You know, now you're looking at
we're still playing.
Yeah, they're still playing. Yeah, exactly.
And bad officiating, too, because I saw some stuff there that I was like, oh, come on. You know what I mean?
But I will say this. After looking at some of the stats, if you look at some of the stats, the Knicks out-rebounded the Spurs in a lot of the games. And that is a telltale sign right there. If you out-rebound a team, offensive, defensive, then you're pretty much going to win 80% of the games, you know? So,
absolutely. And thank you, Pensman. He's not on the show today. He has other obligations, but I want to put his banner up. Don't forget to like and subscribe to his YouTube channel and check out all his content and material. Also, don't forget to check out Brian Pettit here with Sports Break Media and his content, and also all the shows that he does. Brian and Pensman do a lot of live streaming stuff. I've done a few with them. We did the draft live stream, but we've done a lot of that stuff as well. And Leo Haggerty is part of Amped Up Sports. They have a Facebook page. Don't forget their website's coming real soon. And, Amped Up Sports is moving up. I want to thank them, Amped Up Sports, for every time I need a guest, they're always there for me. So I just want to thank everyone for that. This morning, one of my really good friends in media, Greg McAtee, passed away yesterday of cancer. 5 years. Greg McAtee was a good friend of mine. We started out in radio. When I started out in Christian radio, Greg McAtee, even though he worked for the other station, always made sure that he called me and said, Ralph, how are you doing? And I had worked for the station that he had worked for before. We were competitors in 2 different Christian radio stations back in the early 90s when I got my first career started in broadcasting on the radio. Greg McAtee and I have kept up to speed over the years. He hired me as a morning sports reporter, and I was driving my cab at the time. I would broadcast from my cab to do the sports reports on his morning show. I still, to this day, thank him for letting me do that. And he hired me to do that in 1999, and I'll never forget that. Greg McAtee, rest in peace, my friend, and I'll see you when I get there. All right, so I just want to let everyone know today's show is dedicated to my good friend who just passed of cancer. 5 years he's had it, and it finally got him, but now he's not in pain anymore. And I just heard him on the radio not too long ago, and he was doing traffic and sports in Pittsburgh for Odyssey. And I just want to say, Greg, thank you for what you've done for me over the years. When I got started in broadcasting, he was kind of like there for me a little bit. So
Hey,
I
Ra-
just, yeah, go ahead, Brian.
I was going to ask Leo in a minute when you get done.
No, go ahead, Leo or
Oh,
Brian.
okay. Leo, I got a question for you real quick. I know that you live in Florida. How are the UFL Bulls doing? Like in their camps and everything? How do they look for this year for the opening game?
No, college. Yeah, we haven't
Yeah,
talked.
Yeah,
college.
you know what? It's really tough to tell, during spring, because when you got a new coach, it's more of a teaching experience. Last year, uh,
Oh, that's right.
Goals
You
was
got
in his
younger
third
coach
year.
down there. Yeah, I
They
forgot.
were
He was
getting ready to
moved on,
move up, but this
Right.
year with Heartline, it's basically a teaching year, and the rosters turn over so fast. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, basketball is even worse. The
Yeah,
entire USF roster is new this year, and they're not the only team that's happening to. That
happening to everybody.
I
Yeah,
know, and
yeah.
if the NCAA hasn't fit, and again, you hate to keep pointing fingers, but Kurt Signetti said the other day when he was asked, what's the one rule needs to change? He goes, well, it's not one, there's a bunch. But they need to get somebody who is going to make rules and enforce them. And the
Yes.
question that was follow up, which was a great one, was, are you talking about a commissioner? And he said, oh, absolutely. There needs to be some rules. The fact right now, there's nothing. It's the Wild West, and it's crazy.
It's the Wild West, and it's nuts, Leo. We've been talking about NIL since it started, you and I. I mean, we blasted this.
And
On this
again,
program, we've blasted this.
and again,
You know?
guys, it's the lack of foresight by the NCAA to not see this coming. I mean,
Exactly. Yeah.
and I gotta throw out the SEC commissioner because Sankey comes out and he is vilifying Texas Tech. Oh God, you can't do that. You can't do that. This is the commissioner who has embraced Brandon Chamblee playing his 7th year at Ole Miss. Come on, guys.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah, this guy coming out saying something after he let somebody play, their 7th year, and I heard the NCAA is trying to crack down on that, Leo, and I hope they do. I don't believe anything. The NCAA commissioner could come to my house with a rain jacket on, dripping wet, and tell me it's raining outside. I'd have to look out the window because I wouldn't believe him. So
Absolutely. And you know what, guys? The worst one isn't football; it's basketball.
It's
The
basketball.
fact that they're going to let the G League guys come back because the G League guys figured out I can make more money going to college. Well, guess what? You made that decision.
Yep.
That's over. And I mean, when I sat down and listened to the big guy up in Michigan State, and he comes and says, you know what? Magic Johnson still has eligibility. I mean, oh my God. Think about that. Tom Izzo comes out and says, I'm going to bring Magic Johnson back for 2 or 3 more years of college. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
We laugh about it, but God almighty, it's going to happen.
It could happen.
The NCAA either
the NCAA let it happen, Leo. That's the whole problem. You know what I mean?
They either can't stop it or won't stop it. And I can't figure out which one it is.
Exactly.
Hey, Leo, you don't have any eligibility left, do you?
Well, you know what?
There's eligibility on this program, Brian. So don't worry. Anytime I need Leo, he's there.
I'll tell you what. I used to joke with people and say I was the last white cornerback in NCAA history till Cooper DeJean took that from me back at 100.
Wait a minute. Since I went to tech school, do I have any eligibility left? I went for 4 years, for tech school. I wonder if I have any eligibility.
Well, you get 5. You get 5 to play 4, so you got another year and you can play somewhere.
Oh my gosh! Wow, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? That is scary. That's a scary thought. It really is. All right, real quick, guys. What's going on locally in your sports in your town, or what? However, Brian, Clemson. The season's getting started for their football team, and recruiting and whatnot. And go ahead with what else you want to talk about. Go ahead, closing thoughts, and tell everybody how they can get a hold of you. Do all that. So.
Yeah, okay. Clemson front is they're on. Everybody knows they're on summer break or whatever. They're doing things, but nothing's really happening. They're just talking about, that one guy that they just let me see, the receiver. He got back into the NCAA of getting hurt last year, so he'll get to play this year. But nothing really major is going on in Clemson, and you can find me at Sports Break Media on all the platforms, and also on X at 27 Sports Break. So that's where you can find me.
All right, Leo, go ahead.
You know what? It's a slow day. It's going to be a little bit slow down here in Tampa because the colleges are now on break. The Lightning are done. The Buccaneers are done until they get back to training camp in July. So we're looking at the Rowdies and the Rays as basically the standard bearers right now. But I'll tell you what, guys, you want to enjoy watching professional golfers be humbled. Go watch the U.S. Open right now. It's not so bad that Shinnecock Hills, the course is tearing them up, but they're facing gale force winds. And I'll tell you what.
I can't wait to see where that golf ball goes, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Man, you're watching them putt from 5 feet and the wind's blowing the ball. So it's kind of crazy. But,
hey, Leo. Yeah,
Yes.
I know how it is when I play golf like that. My ball goes everywhere, and I'd hate to see what you got to keep it. You can't hit it you can't hit it as deep as they do. You got to play under the wind. You got to just let it hit it smooth. You can't hit it hard no more on that course because that is a tough course.
Not at all.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And you check us out on Facebook, Instagram. We're all over the place.
All right. Okay. What about Pensman says, how about Jake Plummer? Or what's it? Yeah. Okay. I see that there. There you go, Jake Plummer. And trying to see what he said there. Okay. Brian answered that question. All right. There we are. Okay. You can reach me at RW Media Productions, Ralph Williams, on my YouTube channel. Also, I'm on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X. I'm also on the Kick Network. I'm also on Getter, Blue Sky, LinkedIn. I'm on a whole bunch of social media platforms. Check me out as well. Instagram, TikTok. I'm all over the place and all over social media. Don't forget my radio shows, including this afternoon, the Sports Corner radio show with me, Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree. And we are on every Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m. And also don't forget to join us every single Friday, 3 to 4 p.m. on 620 a.m. KHB. And we're also on there as well. Let me see if I can get that up here. Nope, it's not coming up for some reason. Oh, there it goes. All right. And don't forget about that this afternoon. And then tomorrow, the Ralph Williams Show, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. with me, Ralph Williams, and Tony Moreno. And we have a lot to talk about tomorrow as well. On 1250 a.m. The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial, and The Answer, PGH.com. And don't forget on Mondays, the Ralph Williams Show, 3 to 4 p.m. 2 to 3 p.m. on 620 a.m. KHB in Pittsburgh. KHB's been having issues with their internet. So if you live out of the state, you're probably not going to be able to get them. So if you live in the Pittsburgh area or the regional area, like around Western Pennsylvania, you can pick up their signal. They have a very strong one every Monday, 2 to 3 p.m., 620 a.m. KHB with me, Ralph Williams, the Ralph Williams Show. Don't forget about that as well. So, all right. And until next time, I am Ralph Williams, the revolutionary, the visionary, along with Brian Pettit and Leo Haggerty. And until next time, have yourself a great one. And please, by all means, please be safe. Thank you. And have a good weekend. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Dum,